Have you recently purchased a new or used vehicle, or perhaps you're researching for a new or used vehicle, but you're wondering how to set up and use all the technology that we find in a driver's information system and the infotainment screen? If so, you're at the right place. Hi folks, I'm Nathan with Two Guys in a Ride, and today I'm going to show you how to do just that. But before I do, take a moment to give us a like and hit that subscribe button down below. Let's get started. All right, today we are in the 2021 RAM TRX. And if you hear a little bit of a rumble throughout the video, well, I'm sorry, that's the Hellcat engine running. The windows are up, the top is closed. That's as quiet as it gets at an idle. Now, so this is a 7-inch screen. You've got temperature up on the top left, you've got compass over on the right, you've got miles per gallon on the bottom right, and the clock in the bottom left. And of course you got an analog tach, an analog temperature gauge, and then on the right you've got an analog speedometer and kilometers per hour gauge, and then a fuel gauge. What we're going to be concentrating on is a driver's information screen. Now in the very middle of all that, of course, that I pointed out earlier, you've got your miles per hour at the top, you've got, and then customizable things in the middle, and you've got your gear selector and then your odometer. You notice this truck only has 434.4 miles on it today. We're going to be putting a few more on it. Now, over on the far right is your range in miles, and then on the far left is your menu. So, to control the driver's information screen, you're going to use these 4 buttons along with the OK button. So, as I scroll through, you'll notice the menu on the left changing. And this is how you get to all the different things that you can manipulate in the driver's information screen. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go and we're going to start right here. So the only thing you can do here is you get miles per hour, or you click it and you get kilometers per hour. There we go. All right, I'm gonna change it back because I don't want the owner to get it and take off, and that'd be funny. Okay. Down next is your vehicle info. Now, you'll notice at the bottom of the screen that there is a little red light with 2 arrows left and right. Now, it disappears after a while, but it says, hey, there's more pages in this screen. So here we go. We got tire pressure, coolant temp, transmission temp, oil pressure, oil life, battery voltage, intake air temp. You might need to take a vacation to get through all these. Engine torque, engine power, air fuel ratio, boost pressure, IC coolant temp, gauge summary, Dairy Queen. No, sorry, that really is not in there. Okay, you got engine hours, and then you're back to tire pressure. But oh la la, what a lot of stuff. Now you notice at the top right, as I go do my down arrow, it'll say number 3. So there are actually 12 screens total. Okay, here's my off-road page. So this is drivetrain. If I click to the right, I get pitch and roll. And if I go one more, I get wheel articulation. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, and I'm gonna go down to page 4 here, to menu number 4. Performance, it says hold to reset. Okay, and this is all that's on this particular screen. There isn't anything more, there aren't any red lights down at the bottom you can swipe left and right for. Going down here, you do have adaptive cruise control, okay? So if I turn that on, then you have got your gap setting right there. All right, and if I go down one more, okay, you got fuel economy, and I also can go one more to average miles per gallon. And again, you can press OK to reset. And then if I go down here to trip information, I get trip A and trip B. Then if I go down again, trailer tow. Okay, I've got a couple of things. I got trailer trip, trailer brake, trailer light check, and then trailer tire pressure system. This will actually monitor the tire pressure in your trailer tires, which I think is phenomenal. Let's go down one more. This is media. Now, of course, you know, like any other Dodge Ram, this has got the media controls behind the steering wheel, so you can do volume on this side, as well as sources. There's a little round button. And then on this side, over here, you can go through, you can scan. And then, of course, you can change to change favorites. All right, going down again here. If you have any messages, those will come up in here. Nothing else on that screen. All right, settings. It says press OK to enter head-up display. This has a 10-inch HUD display, multicolor. Actually, Dodge Ram calls it a full-color display. And what I love about this is, of course, you can customize it. So, first of all, you can see that display is on. If I click the OK button, the check mark disappears and my HUD goes off. I, of course, want it on. If I want to do brightness, I click on OK. And then I've got, a number rating. This is, of course, less bright, and this is brighter. I'm just going to turn it up all the way to 10. A little easier to see in the daylight. And then over here, I go to display height. So, and this is just, for this one, it's best not to watch the numbers on your screen. It's best to watch the HUD showing up. So you can get it down very close to the edge of your hood. But depending on where you sit and where your seat's adjusted, this is going to be a nice tool. All right, now I'm looking for one more tool in here. So I'm going to press the left button to exit. I got content and layout. All right, so I have simple. And simple gives me basically speed reading signs and a speedometer. Okay, and then if I go down to standard, then I get a little bit more information. I get speedometer, speed, but it adds navigation. And then if I click on OK again and I go to advanced, then I get my driver assist system showing up, like my adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, that kind of stuff. All right, so if I go down here to custom, I have to press the right arrow to edit it. So I'm gonna go here, and actually on the infotainment screen is where this shows up. So you gotta pick your configuration first. Two things, 3 things, 4 things, or 5 things. So all you gotta do is drag something, but in order to do it, you are gonna have to click and hold for a while. Don't expect it to happen real quick, but I can move things around. I can say, well, I want speed over here, and then I want the speed limit signs, my speed. So now if I hit save, now my HUD display will display those things. Now we're not driving, so you don't see all the information showing up, but it is 4 screens, so it's customizable, and that's one of the first times I've seen something that advanced so you can customize that much. All right, so in addition to HUD display settings, under the gear settings here, if I go one to the left, I can go into regular settings. So I'm going to press OK, and this is where you can customize the different things. Now you notice they're changing color, like temperature just turned red, so you know which one you're customizing. So here I go. I'm gonna do the upper left, and if I press my OK button, I can set it to outside temp, time, range to empty, average econ, current econ, trip A, trip B, oil pressure, and oil temp, battery voltage, transmission temperature, coolant temp, trailer tip, trailer brake, oil life, or none. Let me just say I'm gonna put it to oil life. Okay, now if I go to the upper right, so I go down with my arrow, now you notice that the cup has showed up, okay? So I'm click OK, I have the same choices. And let's just say I go back here and I go to the lower left, you notice the time now is lit up in red. And if I go to the lower right, I get that. Now, also, in addition to that, I can go to the left side and I can do menu icons or none. So I can get rid of them. I can just put range to empty, which is on the right-hand side right now. Average econ, oil temp, transmission temp, coolant temp, oil life. Oof. Wow. Now you may ask, well, what happens if my menu icon disappears? Well, I did that. So watch what happens when I press. Okay. So it still scrolls through the screens. It just doesn't show you the menu on the left. You can see them changing on the top. So it just gives you a little bigger screen, maybe a little less crowded. All right, so I am gonna go back to here where we were. If I go down here, I can customize the right side the same way. I can customize the current gear setting on or off. So if I click that off, current gears will not show. I obviously want to leave that on, so I'm going to do that. But there is another area yet, the odometer. Okay, so I can have it show a decimal point or not. You can see that changing below. And I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go to favorite menus. Okay, and here you can change your favorite menus. And so, for instance, if I want off-road on there, I can click on that. I can just click OK to uncheck things. Okay, and your favorite menus. Okay, if I go back here, here I go. This is all the stuff that under vehicle info that I can adjust. You can also adjust the center, and you can have it show the menu title, audio, trailer tip, trip B, trip A, current econ, average econ, and you can see it changing above. But I mean, it's just so completely customizable. It's just really, really nice the way they do this. And then if I just click the back button again, I can go back to the main menu. Going down, I've got diagnostics, so I can view active diagnostic codes. And then I'm back to speedometer. So, super customizable dashboard. Next, we're going to take a look at the infotainment screen. Okay, so this is a 12-inch screen, and I got to be honest, it looks bigger than 12-inch going this direction, but it is 12 inches, and it's absolutely just beautiful. It's amazing. So, behind it, basically we've got AM/FM radio, it's got HD radio, it's got Sirius XM, it has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and Bluetooth, and it has a 19-speaker 900-watt Harman Kardon sound system. One of the things I like is RAM has moved the climate controls from down here where they traditionally are to up on the sides where you would expect to see screen controls, and actually I really like it. So climate controls are right here. You've got a power button here, volume, you've got a mute, you've got a screen off button, push it again, it comes on, and then you can tune or browse or enter things. You notice when I do this, the radio station is changing, even though I'm not on the radio screen. And then the screen itself is kind of divided into three areas. You've got this area down here that shows the shortcuts. You've got this area that changes depending on what you're in. And then you've got this area that seems to stay consistent. So you've got a home button, you got a settings button, and then you've got, of course, your radio, your outdoor temperature outside. Wow, it's 64 degrees out. Well, I think that needs to be recalibrated. It's not 64, it's like 30. I mean, it's one of those comfort things just to make you feel better. Before I finish going through this, there's a couple buttons on the left of the screen that are important. So first of all, you have the TRX. This isn't just a logo, that's actually a button. And if I push it, it brings up three different things: drive modes, performance, and race options. So in drive modes, you've got 8. You've got sport, tow, snow, auto, custom, mud and sand, rock, and Baja. Now, under performance, you get dashboard, timers, gauges, G-force, dyno and engine, vehicle dynamics. In addition to that, you can click this and take a snapshot. You can also click this button and get your front-mounted camera. All right, so I'm gonna, oops, I just did that. All right, so I'm gonna click the X here, and let's go back here for a minute. The other thing is race options. You've got launch control, shift light, you can turn that on or off, and you can set it. You can also put it back to a factory default, but you can set for each gear. And then you have a race cooldown. Okay, just amazing, all the stuff in there. But that is all under the TRX button. All right, and then Baja, you can do a setup down here, and then you also do have a valet mode. I should mention that. But you can set on the Baja, you can set the transmission, the paddles, the stability, the suspension, and the steering. And they've made it. I mean, I just love the way they've laid it out as far as the buttons go. I think that's just really intuitive. It looks like rocker panel switches, you know, in a physical way. All right, now you also have just different drive modes that you can access right here. So these ones show up on the driver's information screen. So you've got tow, you have got snow, you got auto, you have a custom mode, you have mud and sand, rock, Baja, sport, and then we're back to tow. Okay, so I told you that the screen is kind of divided into 3 sections, and depending on what app you're in, it can use the entire full screen. For instance, navigation can go completely full screen if you want it to, and it moves everything out of the way eventually. These things will whoosh, disappear. Home button seems to toggle you between the last 2 things you were on. So if you actually want to go to the apps screen, you have to press the apps button. You notice there are 3, so we're going to go over to this way once. And this does have heated and ventilated driver and passenger seats, so this is where you control that. Okay, and you just click it on, and then it'll show you the controls. So you got a heated steering wheel button right there. If you want your surround camera or your backup camera on, you can just go ahead and click on those, and they'll come on. While we're here, we'll talk about that real quick. You do have dynamic swivel guidelines. You got the 360 picture. You can have a little wider view from the back. You can have a wider view from the front or a narrower view from the front, or you can look at your backup camera, your trailer camera for backing up to a trailer. And that again is dynamic swivel guidelines. You can magnify if you want. Okay, let's go. Okay, so I want to go into this one right here, which is settings. Okay, so if I go into here, this is where you can change settings within the system. So language, you can select, you have English, Spanish, or French. And then on the display itself, you can change all these things. If you don't like the touchscreen beep, you just click on it, you can turn it off. And they all work the same way. You have your voice command settings here. So let's take a look at safety and driving assistance here. So you got all of these different safety systems, and all you have to do to configure them is click on them, and you'll either get an on and off, and you'll get a little description. Right? And then you can decide if you want it off by clicking on it or on. Then you just click on that bar again to collapse it. All right, let's go back here. Mirrors and wipers. So if I click on mirrors, I can have them tilt down and reverse or not tilt down and reverse. Wipers, I can have rain sensing auto wipers turned on or off, and I can have my wipers come on with my headlights on or off. I like it, they give you the little eye. So I'm gonna go down here a little bit further. Brakes. Okay, brake service. Okay, would you like to retract park brakes to allow for brake system service? Auto park brake, on or off. Okay, and let's see, audio settings. So here you can go and you can configure, you can use the arrows, or you can simply drag. And there's the center. You got equalizers, speed adjusted volume, surround sound, and auto volume there. You got more stuff down underneath there. I mean, it is so nice and easy to use. You can set up your Sirius XM there. You can connect Bluetooth here, or you can reset things in case you really mess up. Auxiliary switches. There are 6 auxiliary switches that are sort of pre-wired, so they can be, you can attach them to different things, but watch the options you have. First of all, you can select the type. Do you want it latching or momentary? Let's take a look at power source. Do you want it on battery or ignition? And then last of all, the recall last state, on or off. I mean, I think those are some really nice options that RAM put in there, and they're on all 6 of those. Let's take a look at media. So if I go over here, I'm gonna go back here to settings where I was, because I was on, what was I on? Settings. All right, so now I'm gonna come back here and I'm gonna go to the media. So I can click there, or I can click down here. So I'll just click here. Here's your sources, okay? AM, FM, Bluetooth, Sirius XM, or select your source. And then right here, I've got scanning. I can browse. I can tune, okay, by typing in the numbers. Don't know what station that is, but must be one. And then I can go directly to audio to change the different sound settings. Okay. If I go to Sirius XM, I'm going to get similar controls, except for they'll be more related to Sirius XM. So here I got, like, for instance, I got categories and for you and favorites, and then channels, which is really nice. Okay, over here you got tune, search, and then on this one here, you can do the all access trial. Let's go back here and let's take a look at navigation, because everyone always wonders, well, how do I plot a course? Well, it's simple. You either click in here, and then you can use the keyboard to type it in. You can click on the mic, or you can use the voice command button to bring up something. For instance, drive me to McDonald's.
There are multiple entries for McDonald's. Select a line number, say page up, page down, or say back.
1.
McDonald's, Redwood Falls, Minnesota. Now, do you want to start route guidance?
Yes.
Starting route guidance.
And you just click down here, and there you go. Let's go back to apps for a minute, because there's another one here, and it's the T-Rex one. If I click on that, you'll see that it brings us back to the screen we had with the T-Rex button over here. So it's a redundant button. Let's check out this other screen here and just see what's left here. You do have something called Send and Go. This is where you can, on your phone, program in a navigation point, like say you're in the house, you can send it to your vehicle. When you get in, it'll be ready to go. Performances pages are really nice. We actually already covered this when we hit the T-Rex button. There was a performance knob, and we went through all these, but that's just another button to get to it. The one thing I'll point out here is that you can hit the edit page, and you can set each widget. And a widget, by the way, is a small picture you're seeing of the gauge. Okay, so I can say set widget at bottom right, and you're going to get the same options for everyone, but I can do it oil temp, oil pressure, coolant, battery voltage. I mean, just look at all these. So you can customize each one of those, right? And that's showing everything. That's timers and gauges. Now, if you want to look at just gauges, you can go there, and it's maybe a slightly shorter list, but not really. It's a pretty extensive list. And then timers, recent, best, or last. Okay? So there is a way to customize what shows up in there. I mean, it's just crazy. Let's go back to, let's just take a look at climate for a minute here. You can, of course, use the touchscreen to set your climate, but everything is physical right here. The only physical button I don't see is the sync, and that is contained in the screen. I do wish that was out here somewhere physical, but nonetheless, it's really nice. And I like the way the screen size, varies depending on what you're using. So one of the neat things, the way that Dodge has done, or the way that RAM has done this, is that now, let's say I want performance pages down here. Well, I can click and hold, and there I go. Now it gets rid of my my seat controls, because that's what I dragged it on top of, because you do have a limit as to how many you can have there. But let's say I want any one of these apps down here. It's just a quick click. Like, say, one of my things is I would want the front camera, and there is an icon for the front camera right here. So I would drag it next, maybe down to next to navigation. Now I got my front and rear cameras, so I can just click on them, and up they pop. So just it's so customizable. All right, I hope this has been helpful. Thanks for watching.